back in with another video. This video we're going to go over 3 options of trigger stops for the Dualsense 5 controller. Now with these 3 options, you have an expensive option, a less expensive option, and you have a cheaper option. Now in this video, basically I'm going to explain to you the different options, the benefits, and basically the cons, if any, of doing these. Now how trigger stops work in general is basically when you're playing any kind of, let's use COD for instance, you pull the trigger, it's just memory. You just pull the trigger and you're going by the next fight. But the thing is, when you pull the trigger, your weapon starts firing like around here. So all that excess right here is just waste. You're trying to get to the next fight, you're trying to get to the next opponent, you're trying to get about your day. Now, we have the most expensive option. I want to say that I think this came in at $70, where there's a guy that basically he sends you the whole mechanism here, but how he does, he wires on a cable and it goes into, you get both, it goes into the wires go in and they connect to a little prong in there. There's one on this side, and that's basically what matters. And when you push it, it activates and it basically sends a thing to your controller, and you know that the button's a push, so it starts firing. You know, so this is the most expensive option. It does require you opening up your controller and basically swapping it out with the ones that you have installed. But the one downside of this is that you permanently have trigger stops. So if you're playing Gran Turismo, for instance, where it's a game that you need your full pull of, you know, the gas and the brake, these will not help you on a game like that. You know? So you need to find something else, which comes into our next option. Our next one is by the folks over there at Ghost Trigger. Now, how this option works is you install it with 3M tape on the back of your controller, and I know they 3D printed this, and this costs only $25. And basically they marked it up, and basically what I mean by that is that they made it to the point where your weapon starts firing when it hits the trigger stop. Now this is an older version, and they came out with a new slimmer version just to save space. But this option here is, this is the older one that they had, and then they came out with this one like not even long after. And how it works is, this controller I just showed you a minute ago, when you pull your trigger, you're doing that full pull. You slide it in, and now you have a little pull right there. So it's different. Yes, it is different from this one where it's more of a mouse click, and this one obviously you still have movement, but just muscle memory, you're only gonna have this distance you need to pull, and you can get to the next fight. You want to play Gran Turismo, slide them out the way, still have your full use of the full range of your controller. So this route is a lot quicker. Honestly, if it takes you more than a minute, you're doing something wrong. If you want to take over a minute just to make sure it's lined up. But as you see, the contours and everything is all lined up, and it works. It works great, it works fine, does what it's supposed to. But the Ghost Trigger route, if you only have one controller and you still want trigger stops and you don't feel like, or you're scared to open up your controller, I'm telling you, check them out. I'll post a link to them down below. Now you have your last option, which is the cheapest, where eXtrmeRate, they basically, this one requires, I'm gonna use this for example, because it's kind of in the same kind of thing as this, but you have to basically do it yourself, but it's their own way. This costs $15, and you basically have to open up your controller, remove this, open this up, take off the caps, I don't know what you would call these, take these off, and you would install your own ribbon cable. So it would replace this ribbon cable, and I have one here because I did install this on the controller already. And you would have what normally on the inside of this, on a normal one, you would basically push the trigger and it would hit the ribbon cable and send the signal to the controller that was pushed. How this one works is, on the inside of here, there's little grooves, and you would attach one of these, and it basically helps extend out the actual contact point and basically you would put in a new ribbon cable. Now eXtremerate's video for this, like I said, I have a controller that has this already, and actually my DualShock 4 controller has one like this, very similar. You basically, the contact point would basically hit these little right here, and that's it. You go about your day. The con with this one is just like this one, where you basically, you can't play Gran Turismo. I say Gran Turismo because that's the only game I can think of that has, like, you know, like a gas game, a driving game. You can't play a game like that because, you know, your movement's on like this. It's a game that you need your full pull of the controller. Now, this is the one I have it installed on, where you see that I'm pulling, and that's how far it goes. But again, this one, I can't use this on Gran Turismo. This is what this controller is made for, is like, you know, any kind of first-person shooter game. So, and like I said, I have it installed on my DualShock 4 controller. You know, this is eXtremRate housing. But that's really it. Really, pick your option. You want to go to the more expensive route and just having someone do it, or you can just get a whole new controller and have someone, you know, basically customize the whole controller. I know that costs a good chunk of money. Or you can go the cheaper route and just do it yourself if you're comfortable with opening up your controller, or, you know, just go the safer route, go the ghost trigger route, and you can remove it, you know, so you just peel it off. If you don't want to use that controller anymore, you want to use a different controller, your controller broke, peel it off, get some new 3M tape. Don't get one that's really strong because there's no need, and stick it back on, and you're good to go. So really, just pick your option. But I'll post a link to all these options down below. Let me know in the comments which one you went with. Let me know if you have this one. eXtremRate, they're really known. I don't know where they've been all my life, but let me know what option you got. And honestly, check out Ghost Trigger, because I know they have it for the PS4 also. So the DualShock 4 controller, I know they have the Ghost Trigger for that also. So again, I'll post a link to all these down below, and until I see you guys on the next one, peace.